Imagine this moment. You turn a corner, and your heart stops. 90 armed enemy soldiers, staring directly at you. Your four comrades kneeling in the snow, hands behind their heads. Seconds from execution. An enemy officer steps forward, shoves a machine gun into your stomach, screams at you to surrender. You're alone, outnumbered 90 to 1. There is zero chance of survival. What would you do? Most people would raise their hands. Most people would beg for mercy. Most people would pray they'd be treated as prisoners of war. Leonard Funk started laughing. And in the next 60 seconds, he would do something so insane, so impossible, so absolutely unbelievable, that it would earn him America's highest military honor. 21 enemy soldiers would be dead. The rest would surrender. And this 5'5" former store clerk would cement his name as the most decorated paratrooper in World War to history. This is not Hollywood. This is not fiction. This actually happened. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why one moment of laughter changed everything, and why the President of the United States would say he'd rather have Leonard Funk's medal than be president. Let's go back to where it all began. August 27th, 1916, Braddock Township, Pennsylvania. A baby is born to a working-class family in a steel town. Smokestacks, foundries, the smell of metal and sweat in the air. His name, Leonard Alfred Funk, Jr. There's nothing special about him, nothing that would suggest he'd become a legend. He's just a kid growing up in industrial Pennsylvania, learning responsibility early. By the time he's a teenager, he's already taking care of his younger brother. Leonard graduates high school. But this is the Great Depression. Year 5 of economic collapse. Jobs are scarce. College, forget about it. That's a fantasy for rich kids. Funk does what millions of young men do. He finds work where he can. Store clerk, odd jobs, anything to survive. But everything changes in June 1941. Europe is burning. Asia is at war. And America is getting ready. Congress extends the military draft. Leonard Funk's number comes up. He reports to the induction center in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. The Army examiner looks at him. 5 feet 5 inches tall, 140 pounds, small, unassuming. They're probably thinking, clerk duty, maybe supply chain. Keep him behind a desk. They have no idea who they're looking at. Because Leonard Funk does something that changes everything. He volunteers for the paratroopers. In 1941, American airborne forces barely exist. The whole concept is brand new, experimental, terrifying. You jump out of a perfectly good airplane. You land behind enemy lines. You fight surrounded by enemies in every direction. It sounds like suicide. And to most soldiers, it is suicide. But the men who volunteer, they're different. They have to be. Airborne training is designed to break you. 5 weeks of hell. Running until your legs give out. Jumping until you can't feel your knees. Climbing, falling, getting back up. Half the candidates wash out. They can't handle it. Asterisk then come the jump towers. 250 feet high, you climb to the top and leap into nothing, trusting a harness to catch you. Asterisk, and finally, the real thing. Asterisk the first time you stand in the door of a C-47 transport at 1,000 to 100 feet. Asterisk everything in your body screams at you to grab the door frame and hold on. The ground is impossibly far below. The wind tears at your face. Your parachute is just fabric and rope and faith. Asterisk one step. That's all it takes. One step into empty air. Asterisk Leonard Funk takes that step. Asterisk he earns his jump wings. He's assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment. Asterisk late 1943. The 508 ships to England. They join the 82nd Airborne Division, the All-Americans. Veterans who've already jumped into combat in Sicily and Italy. Men who've killed and watched friends die. Asterisk Funk is the new guy, 27 years old. Ancient by paratrooper standards. Most of his squad mates are barely 20. Kids, really. Asterisk but Funk has something they don't. Asterisk maturity, steadiness. The kind of quiet competence that makes men trust you when bullets start flying. Asterisk by June 6, 1944. He's a squad leader. Asterisk, and he's about to face his first taste of war. Asterisk June 6, 1944. Asterisk 1:30 in the morning. Asterisk Funk is inside a C-47 Skytrain, flying over occupied France. Asterisk the plane shudders violently as German anti-aircraft fire explodes around it. Flak bursting in the darkness like angry fireworks. Asterisk Funk stands in line with his stick, the column of paratroopers waiting to jump. 60 pounds of equipment strapped to his body. M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, grenades, ammunition, medical kit, rations. Asterisk the aircraft is at 400 feet. Way too low for a safe jump. Asterisk but the pilots can't climb higher. German anti-aircraft guns are everywhere. Tracers arc through the sky. Fragments ping off the fuselage like deadly rain. Asterisk jump. The prop blast hits Funk like a truck. Then his parachute deploys and suddenly, silence. Asterisk he's floating down into occupied France. Enemy territory in every direction. And nothing goes according to plan. Asterisk the D-Day airborne operation is absolute chaos from minute one. German flak has scattered the formations across 50 miles of French countryside. Asterisk paratroopers are landing in flooded fields and drowning under the weight of their gear. Asterisk others come down in the middle of German camps and die before they can cut themselves free. Asterisk Funk hits the ground hard. Asterisk his ankle twists on impact. Badly sprained. Maybe fractured. The pain is immediate and excruciating. Asterisk every step for the next 2 weeks will be agony. Asterisk but he can walk. He can fight, and that's all that matters. Asterisk he gathers his parachute, buries it, and starts moving through the darkness. Asterisk hears the problem. He's 40 miles from his drop zone, 40 miles of German-held territory, alone, in the dark. Asterisk most soldiers in this situation would hide, wait for rescue, hope for the best, Asterisk not Leonard Funk. Asterisk asterisk. Within hours, Funk has collected a group of lost paratroopers. Men from different units, different companies, different regiments. Asterisk 18 men total. All of them looking for leadership. Asterisk Funk gives it to them. Asterisk asterisk for 10 days. He leads this makeshift group through enemy territory, traveling at night, hiding during the day, fighting when they have to. Asterisk despite his injured ankle. Funk insists on being the lead scout, putting himself in the most dangerous position. To protect his men, asterisk think about that. He's in constant pain. Every step is torture, and he volunteers to be the first one into danger. Asterisk they link up with Allied forces on June 17th. The result? Every single man survives. Asterisk not one casualty. Asterisk 10 days behind enemy lines. 40 miles of German-occupied France, injured the entire time. Asterisk and Leonard Funk brings them all home. Asterisk he earns the Silver Star, the third highest combat decoration, plus a Bronze Star for meritorious service. Asterisk plus his first Purple Heart. Asterisk. But Leonard Funk isn't done. Not even close. Asterisk September 17th, 1944. Asterisk Holland. Asterisk Operation Market Garden begins the largest airborne assault in history. 35,000 paratroopers dropping into the Netherlands to capture a series of bridges. British, American, Polish, all jumping together. Asterisk if it works, the Allies will be in Germany by Christmas. Asterisk Field Marshal Montgomery's plan is ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. The paratroopers have to capture and hold 7 bridges across 60 for miles of Dutch territory. Ground forces will race up a single highway to link up with them. Asterisk everything depends on speed, on surprise, on nothing going wrong. Asterisk asterisk everything goes wrong. Asterisk the British 1st Airborne Division lands at Arnhem, the furthest bridge. They're immediately surrounded by SS Panzer divisions that weren't supposed to be there. Asterisk for 9 days, they fight and die in the streets. Only 2,000 of 10,000 men make it out alive. Asterisk a bridge too far enters military history as a cautionary tale. Asterisk but Leonard Funk doesn't know about the big picture. He only knows his mission. Asterisk secure the drop zone, support the landings, kill Germans. After his company secures their objective, Funk notices something that isn't part of the plan. Asterisk 3 German 20mm anti-aircraft guns are firing at incoming Allied gliders. Asterisk those gliders carry reinforcements, jeeps, artillery, medical supplies. If those guns keep firing, hundreds of men will die before they even land. Asterisk the gun position is dug in on high ground near Vauxhall. Approximately 20 German soldiers manning the weapons. Sandbags, camouflage, interlocking fields of fire. Asterisk Funk has 3 men with him. Asterisk standard military doctrine says you need a 3-to-1 advantage to assault a prepared position. Asterisk Funk has the opposite. He's outnumbered 7-to-1. Asterisk asterisk he attacks anyway. Asterisk leading. From the front, Funk and his 3-man patrol assault the German position. Asterisk they kill the security detachment. Asterisk storm the gun emplacements. Asterisk neutralize all 3 weapons and their crews. Asterisk 20 Germans. 3 Americans. Asterisk the guns go silent. The gliders land safely. Asterisk asterisk he attacks anyway. Asterisk leading from the front. Funk and his 3-man patrol assault the German position. Asterisk they kill the security detachment. Asterisk storm the gun emplacements. Asterisk neutralize all 3 weapons and their crews. 20 Germans. 3 Americans. Asterisk the guns go silent. The gliders land safely. Asterisk. December 16, 1944. Asterisk 3 armies. For 100,000 men. 1,000 for 100 tanks. 1,900 artillery pieces. Asterisk they crash through American lines in the Ardennes forest, aiming for the port of Antwerp. Asterisk Hitler is gambling everything on one massive attack. His plan: split the Allied armies, capture Antwerp, force a negotiated peace so Germany can focus on fighting the Soviets in the east. Asterisk for the Americans, it's a nightmare. Asterisk the offensive hits thinly held sectors, manned by green troops and exhausted veterans. Entire divisions crumble. Thousands surrender. Asterisk the German advance creates Bulge 50 miles deep in Allied lines. Asterisk the Battle of the Bulge. The largest battle the American army will fight in World War II. 89,000 American casualties before. It's over. Asterisk and the weather. Brutal. Snow. Ice. Temperatures dropping to 5 degrees below zero. Asterisk men freeze to death in their foxholes. Weapons jam. Vehicles won't start. The cold is as deadly as the Germans. Asterisk asterisk then comes December 17, 1944. Asterisk the Normandy massacre. Asterisk a convoy of American soldiers rear echelon. Troops. Artillery observers. Radio operators runs into an SS armored battle group. Asterisk after a brief fight. 113 Americans surrender. Asterisk they're herded into a farmer's field. Hands up. Disarmed. Prisoners of war. Asterisk then the SS opens fire. Asterisk machine guns. Pistols. Rifles. They shoot them down like cattle. Asterisk men who try to run are cut down. Men who fall wounded are finished off with shots to the head. Asterisk 80 for Americans die in that field. Asterisk asterisk 43 survivors play dead, lying in the snow for hours. German boots walking past them. German voices laughing. Asterisk when darkness comes. They crawl away and make it back to American lines. Asterisk. The news spreads through the American army like wildfire. Asterisk the Germans are executing prisoners. Before Normandy, the war in Europe had rules. Unofficial, unspoken, but real. Asterisk soldiers surrendered when the situation was hopeless. Prisoners were treated according to the Geneva Convention. Asterisk after Normandy, the rules are gone. Asterisk asterisk American soldiers swear they'll never surrender to the SS. Some units pass down orders. No SS prisoners. Asterisk when Leonard Funk hears about the massacre. Something hardens inside him. Asterisk he's already seen too much. Normandy. Holland. Friends dying in fields and forests across Europe. Asterisk. But this is different. This is murder. Cold-blooded execution of men who surrendered in good faith. Leonard Funk makes a decision. He will never surrender to the Germans, no matter what. That decision is about to matter very, very soon. January 29th, 1945. The Ardennes. The German offensive has been broken. Now the Allies are pushing back. Company C gets orders to capture the Belgian village of Holzheim. There's a problem. Company C is under strength. The executive officer has been killed. They don't have enough men. Funk is now acting executive officer. He looks at his depleted roster and makes a decision. He walks to the company headquarters tent. Inside are clerks, supply personnel, cooks, men who normally never see combat. You're all infantry now. Funk tells them, grab your weapons. We're taking that village. He forms a makeshift platoon. 30 men who've spent most of the war behind desks. The march is 15 miles through waist-deep snow in a driving blizzard. Temperatures well below freezing. German artillery shells explode around them. Funk leads from the front. They reach Holzheim. 15 houses. Germans in everyone. Machine guns, rifles, grenades. Funk and his clerks, his makeshift warriors, clear them all. 30 prisoners captured. Not one American casualty. Another unit captures 50 more Germans on the other side of town. 80 prisoners total. They're corralled in the yard of a farmhouse. Funk looks at his exhausted men. They've been marching and fighting for hours. There's still resistance in other parts of the village. He can only spare 4 men to guard the prisoners. Keep them here, he tells the guards. We'll send reinforcements when we can. Funk heads back into the fight. He has no idea what's about to happen. While Funk is clearing the rest of Holzheim, a German patrol approaches the farmhouse. 10 men, maybe 20, wearing white camouflage over their uniforms. In the snow and confusion, they look almost identical to American troops. The 4 guards don't realize the danger until it's too late. The Germans overwhelm them, disarm them, force them to their knees. Then they free the prisoners. 80 German soldiers plus the patrol, 90 men total. They grab weapons from the pile. They organize quickly. They know exactly what they're going to do. Attack Company C from the rear. Funk's company is scattered across the village, mopping up resistance. They're not expecting an attack from behind. If 90 Germans hit them while they're spread out, massacre. Leonard Funk comes to check on the prisoners. Routine. He rounds the corner of the farmhouse and freezes. His 4 guards are on their knees in the snow. The prisoners, who should be unarmed and contained, are standing everywhere, rifles in their hands, organizing for battle. A German officer spots Funk immediately. The first sergeant stripes on his sleeve mark him as a leader. The officer strides forward, shoves his MP40 submachine gun into Funk's stomach, screams the command in German, surrender. Drop your weapon. Except Funk doesn't speak German. He has no idea what the officer is saying. The officer screams again. Louder. His face turns red. Veins bulge in his neck. Funk looks around. 90 Germans. Half of them armed. His 4 men disarmed and helpless. The mathematics of survival are 0. There is nitrogen monoxide scenario where Leonard Funk wins this fight. He's outnumbered 90-1, the sensible thing. The rational thing is to surrender. But Funk remembers Normandy. 80 for Americans murdered in a field, shot like animals, left to freeze in the snow. He's already decided he'll never surrender to the Germans. So instead of complying,
Leonard Funk does something completely inexplicable. He starts laughing. Nobody knows exactly why Funk laughed. Maybe it was a tactic, a deliberate move to confuse the enemy and buy time. Maybe it was stress. The human brain does strange things when faced with certain death. Maybe it was genuine amusement, the absurdity of an officer screaming in a language he couldn't understand. Funk himself later said he tried to stop laughing, but couldn't. Whatever the reason, the effect is devastating. The German officer screams louder. Funk laughs harder. He bends over, shoulders shaking. "I don't understand what he's saying," he calls out to his men. Some of the German soldiers start laughing too. The tension is bizarre. Their officer is turning purple with rage, and this American won't stop cackling. The officer is completely thrown off. This isn't how prisoners behave. They beg, they plead, they comply. They don't stand there laughing while you shove a gun in their stomach. For a few critical seconds, the German officer doesn't know what to do, and Leonard Funk uses those seconds. Still appearing to laugh, Funk slowly reaches toward his Thompson submachine gun slung over his shoulder. The German officer watches. Good, the American is finally surrendering his weapon. Funk's hand closes around the grip. He begins to unsling it, slowly, carefully. The German relaxes slightly. Then Funk moves. In one motion, faster than thought, he swings the Thompson down, brings the muzzle into line, and squeezes the trigger. The M1A1 Thompson fires 45 ACP rounds at 600 rounds per minute. At close range, each round hits like a sledgehammer. The first burst catches the German officer in the chest, 30 rounds in less than 3 seconds. The officer is dead before he hits the ground. Funk doesn't stop, can't stop. The moment he started shooting, he committed to killing everyone or dying himself. There's no middle ground. He pivots, still firing. The Thompson sprays an arc of lead across the German soldiers nearest to him. The Germans are in complete chaos. Their officer is dead. The American who was laughing is now killing them. Nobody gave orders for this. Nobody knows what to do. Some shoot back. Bullets crack past Funk's head. One round kills the soldier standing beside him. Funk keeps firing, moving, killing. His guards have weapons now. They're shooting too. The Germans are caught in a crossfire they never expected. 60 seconds. That's all it takes. 21 German soldiers lie dead in the snow. 24 more are wounded. The rest, more than 40, have thrown down their weapons and raised their hands. The prisoners are prisoners again. Leonard Funk stands in the middle of the carnage, smoke rising from his Thompson, surrounded by bodies. He looks at his men and says, "That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen." The story spreads through the regiment, through the division, through the entire 82nd Airborne. The sergeant who laughed at 90 Germans and killed half of them with a Tommy gun. When the Medal of Honor recommendation reaches Washington, nobody questions it. What Funk did at Holzheim is beyond dispute. Outnumbered 90-1, enemy weapon in his gut, and instead of surrendering, he attacked. September 5th, 1945, the White House. President Harry Truman places the Medal of Honor around Leonard Funk's neck. "I would rather have this medal," Truman says, "than be President of the United States." Let's count what Leonard Funk earned during World War II. Medal of Honor for Holzheim, Distinguished Service Cross for Holland, Silver Star for Normandy, Bronze Star for Meritorious Service, 3 Purple Hearts, wounded 3 separate times and kept fighting, the Croix de Guerre from France, the Order of Leopold from Belgium, the Military Order of William from the Netherlands. Leonard Funk is the most decorated paratrooper of World War II. 5 feet 5 inches tall, 140 pounds, a former store clerk who became a legend. November 20th, 1992. Leonard Alfred Funk, Jr. dies of cancer. He's 76 years old. They bury him at Arlington National Cemetery, Section 35, Grave 23734, among the heroes of every American war. Most people have never heard of Leonard Funk. They know Audie Murphy. They know Alvin York, the famous Medal of Honor recipients. They don't know the short, quiet paratrooper who laughed at 90 Germans and killed 21 of them with a Tommy gun. Here's what the story of Leonard Funk tells us. War doesn't favor the big. It doesn't favor the strong. It doesn't favor the reckless or the fearless. War favors the ones who keep thinking when everyone else has stopped. At Holzheim, Leonard Funk had every reason to surrender. The math was impossible. 90 against 1, a gun in his stomach, his men already captured. Any rational person would have given up. But Funk wasn't thinking about the math. He was thinking about Normandy, about 84 Americans murdered in a field, about what the Germans did to prisoners. And he was thinking about his men, the 4 guards on their knees, the soldiers scattered across the village who would be massacred if these Germans escaped. So he laughed. And while everyone was confused, while everyone was off balance, Leonard Funk made his move. 60 seconds later, he was standing in a field of bodies, alive when he should have been dead. President Truman said he'd rather have the Medal of Honor than be president. Think about that. The most powerful man in the world, the man who had just ended World War II, the man who would reshape the global order, looking at a 5'5" former store clerk from Pennsylvania and saying, "I'd rather be you." Because what Truman understood, what we all need to understand, is that courage isn't about size or strength or training. Courage is what you do when there's a gun in your stomach and 90 men want you dead. Leonard Funk showed us what that looks like, and his story deserves to be remembered. If you found this story powerful, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear about real courage, and subscribe because there are more untold stories of heroes like Leonard Funk that the world needs to know.